What's happening, y'all? It's Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. Continue to hit the like, share, subscribe, thumbs up button, all that good stuff. Now, I don't know how I missed this, but the Baltimore Ravens dropped, I guess it's been a couple days now, one of the best statements I've ever seen from an NFL team. Maybe from a North American sports team ever. Like, as far as their fight against systemic racism in America. So I'm going to just read snippets. You can go check it out on their Twitter. The full thing, it's just at Ravens on Twitter. But basically, they're saying enough is enough. I mean, it says it literally in quotations, enough is enough. And it is time to accept accountability and acknowledgement of the ramifications of slavery and racial justice. But here's where it gets good. It gets like even better, because that's some good stuff. It says, though we cannot right all the wrongs of our country's history, what we can do is arrest and charge the police officers responsible for Breonna Taylor's killing and the shooting of Jacob Blake. Demand Senator Mitch McConnell bring the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act of 2020 to the Senate floor for vote. End qualified immunity, require body cams, ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants, hold police accountable in court, establish a framework to prohibit racial profiling at federal, state, and local levels. Woo! If I had dropped one of Clues bombs for that, because that is some heat. They are spitting some super hot fire right now. I mean, wow. Like, who would have thought? Like, 'cause the thing about the NFL when it comes to fighting for the rights of black people in America, fighting against racial inequality, fighting for the throne of white supremacy or systemic racism in America, the NFL's been late to the party. We know what they did with Kaepernick. We don't need to go over that. But in every step of the way, even before Kaepernick or since Cap, they've always been late to the party. And so in 2020, we saw Roger Goodell admit that they were wrong about Kaepernick. He didn't really apologize to Cap, but he admitted that they were wrong. And now we're seeing the progression of NFL teams. We're seeing the progression of a league. Now, don't get me wrong, the Ravens are the only team to put out a statement like this. Arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. I don't know if any other team is going to do nothing like that. Arrest the police officers that shot Jacob Blake. I don't know if another league team. I mean, I just had a video the other day about Brian Urlacher justifying those cops. Now, he's not a team, but he played in the NFL, and so you would like to think a lot of players in the NFL or a lot of executives in the NFL feel that same way. He just happened to say it, or put it out there on social media. And I got a lot of people in my comments that agree with Brian Urlacher. So what the Ravens are doing is an outlier. It's far from the norm. And what will it take for other organizations to come out and say something like this, to come out and make statements like this? Because this is beautiful. This is what needs to take place. And statements don't need to just be made. Steve Bisciotti, who was the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, now needs to put a plan into action. Get on the phone with some of his politicians in the state of Maryland and in the city of Baltimore and make things happen from the inside. Now, this is great. You're putting the pressure on the people in the public sphere. But now the work needs to be done inside those offices, inside those buildings, inside those meetings. The Baltimore Ravens, you have nothing but my respect. The Baltimore Ravens has always been a first-class organization. They put minorities in positions of power. Ozzie Newsome was the general manager there for 2 decades, I want to say. So this is nothing new to them, but this is new to a league that hasn't always embraced the movement. The NBA is different. NBA has always allowed their players to be outspoken. They've always allowed their players to do demonstrations of acts of whether it was LeBron and the Heat wearing hoodies, tossing off the Clippers uniform when the guy said the racist stuff. I can't even think of his name. The former owner of the Clippers before Ballmer bought the team. I don't even want to say his name. I can't even think of it. But they've always allowed their players to do this. But when Cap they ostracized him from the league. They excommunicated from him. They tried to cut off all ties to Colin Kaepernick until years later, and realizing that he was right in what he was doing, because all he was doing was taking a knee, for the police brutality. because the police are out here killing black people. Then they're still doing it now, or attempting to kill black people. They're killing black people, attempting to kill black people, and it's getting caught on camera. That's super sick. So, I mean, applaud to the Baltimore Ravens for making a stand. Because well, first of all, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming from any NFL team. And to make a statement, I mean, this is what it says: arrest and charge the police officers responsible for Breonna Taylor's killing and the shooting of Jacob Blake. And that really hits home for me, because a lot of you know that I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, where Breonna Taylor was killed. And to call for the arresting of those police officers, and to call out the Kentucky senator, I live here in Kentucky, call out the Senator Mitch McConnell to bring the George Floyd Justice Policing Act of 2020 to the Senate floor, to call out these police officers and to try to not defund the police in a sense, but to get rid of these unions and this qualified immunity that the police get in acts of murder or in acts of attempted murder. That's huge, man. That's all I can really say. It is incredible, and I'd like to see more professional teams get behind their players and put out statements like this. And not only put out statements, but to actually get to the action. And that's one thing the Ravens concluded their statement by saying, we will use this platform to drive change, not just for our generation, but for the generations that follow, for our sons, daughters, and for their children. Because that's what it's about. It's about making change for the future, that we grow as a country, that we grow as people. And if you don't see that, if you think, black people are just out to get you, the big, bad, scary black people out to get me and take away my guns and take away my police. No, that's not what we want. We just want y'all to stop killing us. We want to be equal. That's it. And we want, when people murder people in broad daylight, or murder women, children, and men and women, children, we want them to have to be called to justice and go to jail for their acts. That's it. Kudos once again to the Baltimore Ravens. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys. Continue to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time.